I come from a small town. I'm used to everybody knowing everything anyway. And I don't know, I feel like if you're hiding something, there must be something wrong with it. Like, and there's nothing wrong with anything. Life just kind of happens, and it takes turns that you don't expect and are sad, deeply about.
What is your favorite part about being back together again this season?
I personally, I don't know about Gwen, but I love doing this show with another female in the chair as well. I think the energy is exciting, and I think with the four of us too, we are all so different musically that I think it's actually very interesting. And I think, representation is really important. And so it's really cool, like, to have, the rocker ska, like, and she's done pop and dance. And then you have John in the R&B soul but pop world. And you have Blake in the country world. You have me in my world. Like, so I think that's really important. First of all, like, not male or female, just, I think it's cool musically. And then secondly, like I said, I love having another female. I've done it with all the guys, and it's cool, whatever. I grew up with a lot of guys around me, but like I like having the female energy to kind of bounce off of. I think I'm a girl's girl. Like, I have a lot of girlfriends, so like I obviously am welcoming of that. So
awesome. What about you, Gwen?
Well, everybody knows how easy it is to be around Kelly. She's so much fun, and she's smart, and I've learned a lot from her on the show. As well. But I just think it's really fun now that I know her that much better, like, to be on the show. It feels, with the circumstances being so undone, there's no audience, there's way less people on set. It feels super intimate, and we all know each other so well now that it feels like you have zero awareness of the cameras. It's kind of like we're just all friends hanging out and doing the show, and we all know how lucky we are. But I think now that I know Kelly is as good as I do, it just feels so comfortable and fun. Like, it's like being with a girlfriend. Like, before you got on, we're just chatting, like, and it's like that on set.
Now we're talking. Oh my God!
Wow!
Freaking out right now.
You are incredible.
America's gonna fall in love with you.
Woo.
So good, and we can't wait to see you guys back on set. Obviously, look, we love to see y'all get out of your chairs, get a little feisty with each other, with the contestants, hug on each other, hug on the contestants. How is COVID impacting that dynamic for the show?
It is, but I feel like we miss it, of course. But we have to just restrain ourselves, and we just kind of got used to it pretty quickly, I think. It's the way it is right now, and we're just feel lucky to be there, so we're just dealing with it, you know what I'm saying? But I do miss giving Kelly a little squeeze, that's for sure.
It is cool though, like out of the four of us, obviously Gwen and Blake are on their own little pod. So what's cool for even America to get to see some form of normalcy is, while John and I can't really do that, Blake and Gwen can, hug and play and fight and like be playful, and it's okay. They're allowed to do that, so I think, while it sucks for everyone to have to watch everybody be so distant and it kind of gets a little cold, at least with this show, it's kind of cool because you get some form of it. And I think just visually, like, America getting to see that, and it looks like some kind of normal visual thing that we were seeing beforehand. I think that's really cool, actually.
You know what's so crazy? You guys both noticed that, like, we were watching, like, my son was watching Rad, that like bike from the 80s. You watch old movies now, or any movies, and you're like, oh, they're touching, like, oh, they're getting close, or like she coughed, and like, it's like, we're so aware of these things now. It's really a bizarre time we're in.
It is so bizarre. And I mean, look, I know with ET, we're having to do a tremendous amount of testing. Are you guys having to do a lot of testing yourselves, the contestants as well? Gwen, give us the run. Like, what are you guys having to do on the testing front?
It's constant. It feels like last week I must have had a test every day or something. But it makes me feel good, because at least I know that when I can make other people feel good knowing that I know I'm clear. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with my dad, I got to hug my dad yesterday for the first time, and my dad has in the last year and a half lost almost 100 pounds. And I hugged my dad yesterday after dinner, and he let me, and it was like these ribs, and I was like, oh my God, I was like shaking, because I first hadn't hugged him in 6 months. Second of all, he was this little skinny thing, and I was so proud of him. He worked so hard. But anyway, yeah, that was
something he was trying to consciously do.
Yeah, he's been doing it, and he's such an inspiration to me because he's been so focused on it. And but yeah, the testing thing helps with that because it makes you feel safe, you know. And I don't mind it at all. Of course, I mean it's like it's almost like, oh, you know, let's all test and then we can actually hang out together and not have to think about it for a second.
You want to protect yourself and you want to protect everyone that is around you as well. Kelly, I gotta say, girlfriend, you are an open book. You are the real deal girlfriend. But so you can rock the eye patch one day and the next day you could be completely transparent and real with your audience about some recent tough times that you've gone through.
2020 has brought a lot of change also to my personal life. Definitely didn't see anything coming that came. But what I'm dealing with is hard because it involves more than just my heart. It involves a lot of little hearts. You know, we have 4 kids and divorce is never easy.
Why do you feel like you have to be that open with your audience?
I don't feel like I have to. I've never felt like I have to. I mean, if anything, I've fought my entire career just to be me because most managers and publicists get nervous with me because I am an open book and labels people frown upon it early on. But I don't do it for anyone else, honestly. I don't know. I come from a small town. I'm used to everybody knowing everything anyway. And I don't know. I feel like if you're hiding something, there must be something wrong with it. Like, and there's nothing wrong with anything. Life just kind of happens and it takes turns that you don't expect and are sad, you know, deeply about. And I just felt like I have a really solid fan base in the sense that, you know, everybody, I think they just care. They're like, oh, is she okay? Is she okay? And the interesting thing is it's not just about she, and I think that's why I wanted to address it, is there's a lot of hearts involved here. That's the thing that's been kind of hard to navigate is I am an open book, but at some point I'm a mama bear more than I am a person in the public eye. So I care 100% more about my children than I do anything else on this planet. So that's been the hard thing of like, yes, I'm willing to share my experience, and yes, it is the worst. I mean, the past few months have been horribly sad, but at the same time, I have to think, like what I say is a domino effect into other people's lives. And, you know, I've had hot conversations with one of our eldest about how difficult it is in the public eye when your parents are so, you know, one of them is so prominent and, you know, having to navigate that for them is hard on their heart. So I'm just careful also while being real. But I don't really try to do that. It's not like a goal that I'm like, oh, I feel like that's just who I am.
We've all dealt with our own personal struggles, but when you dealt with them as well, then you go to The Voice and you find your new leading man, you know? So what advice have you offered up to your friend Kelly here in regards to, you know, this journey that she's going through right now?
I'm not an advice giver, and every situation is going to be completely unique, and we're all different people. I think the one thing that we talked about that we're both blessed is that we have our music to be able to have as an outlet. And I'm sure that, you know, eventually people are going to hear Kelly's record, which I got a sneak peek at some of the songs. I don't know if they're the ones that are going to be coming out at some point, but God definitely, you know, opens a window and a door closes. It's true. And, you know, to be able to be heartbroken or sad or whatever it is, I'm sure it's fueling whatever her purpose is to be a songwriter and a singer, and that will, you know, eventually contribute back into the world, and that's what her whole purpose is for. So we're all tested here in this world. It's all happening to all of us all the time. We all have to go through sad times, heartache, and if you look at it like this is a test, we all have to go through this. That's a good way to kind of get to the other side, because everybody gets to the other side eventually.